Our next presenter is Melissa Fonseca.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Fonseca, and I will be presenting this research on behalf of my group, Nazma, Ayodhya, Dilakshana, Sahani, Sean, and Priyank. Our abstract number is number 5, and it's on page 19. Our topic is risk activities related to traditional fishing activities leading to musculoskeletal problems among Sri Lankan fishermen. I'll be following this order in my presentation. Trincomalee is in the eastern province of Sri Lanka with a population of 99,135, which was found in 2012. It is considered a tourist attraction due to its magnificent beaches. It also comprises of several coastal villages which practice traditional fishing methods. These traditional activities and methods put the fishermen at risk of acquiring musculoskeletal pathologies of various degrees. A large percentage of the population in Trincomalee are fishermen or are employed in fishing-related activities, but due to their lack of knowledge, their daily occupational activities increase their risk of musculoskeletal injuries. We did this research because studies have not yet been done on the musculoskeletal impact of their work-related activities. Our objectives were to describe musculoskeletal problems among traditional Sri Lankan fishermen and to observe the possible occupational risk activities leading to them. Our methodology was a qualitative study which was an ethnographic research. The population were fishermen from 3 rural villages in Trincomalee, and the sample size was 15 fishermen. We had a multiple qualitative data collection method. We used 3 separate methods, the first being semi-structured interviews. For example, questions which we used were, did they have any musculoskeletal injuries, and did they partake in any risk activities which they thought were risky? The second data collection method was photographic analysis, in which photos were taken of activities which increased the risk of musculoskeletal injury due to methods of fishing used, improper posture, and use of substandard equipment. The third data collection method was participatory observation. We observe the activities which they perform on a daily basis and perform them with their assistants. So this was one of our group members assisting the fishermen in pulling the nets in after collecting the fish for that day. And this is 2 of our group members fishing with rods, which is a very traditional method. So by doing this, we were able to understand the joints which were at high risk and had a better understanding of the activities they performed. Our results were found with a thematic analysis, which used 15 semi-structured interviews, 31 posture photos, and participatory observation input of 6 researchers. The most commonly affected joints were identified, and the reasons were identified under 3 themes. So firstly, the at-risk joints, we found them by observing the fishermen interviewing them and partaking in their daily activities. So we were able to determine the joints in which the fishermen had incurred musculoskeletal injuries. The most common joints which had attained musculoskeletal injuries were the shoulder joints, the knee joints, and joints of the spine. We found that the reason for these musculoskeletal injuries could be categorized into three groups, which was using traditional fishing methods, using poor postures, and using substandard equipment. The first theme being using traditional fishing methods. So in this picture, it shows the use of small baskets to wash the fish which are dragged to shore. The baskets, once filled, are quite heavy, hence two fishermen are needed to carry it. This weight which they carry, which can cause injury to their shoulder joint and cause muscular damage to the paraspinal muscles. The next picture shows them pulling and pushing a boat back to shore after a fishing expedition. They had formed a technique of performing this task, but through observation and interviews, we found that this technique it caused injury to several joints, which included the shoulder and back. Furthermore, the use of their upper and lower back to push the boat manually could lead to skeletal changes in the future. This image shows the use of a rod and net to fish closer to shore. To catch fish in this method, it takes much longer, and the fishermen have to perform this task repetitively. The second theme was using poor postures which risk musculoskeletal injuries. In this, the fishermen are carrying the full basket of fish from the shore. They are not bending their knees while picking up and putting down the basket, and are carrying the basket away from their body. The next picture also shows them bending from their hips and back rather than their knees, which causes strain on their cervical and lumbar spine. While performing many of their daily activities, they have to bend in order to perform the task. Majority of the fishermen bend from their hips rather than from their knees, which can be observed in the following pictures. We also found that they bent over for long durations with their spines twisted. So this also causes further damage, musculoskeletal damage. They also carried baskets and fishing equipment away from their body, and they manually pushed the boat back to shore, which I mentioned before. And this, we found that this the main force was put on their back and their knees. The third theme was the using substandard equipment. This image shows the fishermen pulling a net manually, which can also be done mechanically. We saw that some places did have a mechanical way of pulling it, but the fishermen that we observed did not have the mechanical method. So that was due to their financial status. The next image is them fishing with oars, which is quite a traditional method, and it has been modified. It has been modified now where they use speedboats, but in these fishing villages, most of them in Trincomalee, they use boats which they have to row manually. The conclusions were, the most common complaint was shoulder and knee pain leading to limitation of activities. Traditional activities carried out using substandard equipment in unsuitable postures increases the risk of musculoskeletal pains among these fishermen. Preventive and curative practices were both poor among these fishermen, and they were at risk of income losses due to the injuries, as the musculoskeletal injuries they incurred limited their daily activities. We categorized our recommendations into two lengths, short-term and long-term. Our short-term recommendations were donating medications to the regional medical center, and our long-term sustainable measures were educating the fishermen, demonstrating exercises, promoting healthy postures, treating the existing problems, and promoting first aid. These images are of us implementing our recommendations to the fishermen. These are my references. I'd like to thank the following people for their guidance and support. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Niroshan Selvaraja for financial support. Any questions?
Great study. Also some intervention as well, it seems. Did you do a similar control group when you looked at the statistics within your fishing community and you noticed X number of injuries which you attributed to their techniques, did you have a similar rural population that you looked at, or within the literature, was there any indication as to a similar socioeconomic and
To be honest, we did not have a control group, but we couldn't. There wasn't literature on Sri Lankan fishermen, so we were unable to find any literature because a study had not been done on fishermen with regard to their musculoskeletal injuries. When we found that most of the fishermen we asked them a few questions about their daily activities and the pains that they incur. And they all actually gave the same answer. So within three rural, the fishing villages, it was actually very similar.
did comment about the large oruas versus the mechanized boats and
Yeah.
using motorized methods to pull the big nets in. There was no comparison made between those different techniques and health outcomes.
No, we didn't. We didn't actually take. We took a few images, which we noticed that the fishermen that use the motorized method of pulling the net in, they actually they had better posture and they were not putting as much strain on their shoulder and their back. We spoke to them as well, because in one fishing village there were about 400 fishermen, but due to the time constraint, we weren't able to talk to everyone. So when we spoke to them, they did not complain of any musculoskeletal pains.
It's a very good study. You have chosen the method as participatory observation method. I think it's very telling the objectives. I think well done.
Thank you.
So, to researcher who would like to go into this topic, what would be your recommendation or area to do a research if another person is interested in this?
With regard to the fishermen and their
Yeah,
musculoskeletal. We actually did a few researches, two other researches on the fishermen, which were with regard to the nutrition and their first aid capabilities, what they knew about, their knowledge of nutrition, knowledge of first aid, and knowledge of musculoskeletal interventions. So if I were to recommend another researcher, I would probably recommend that they, as you mentioned, to observe different fishing villages and compare to see if there are some villages which practice it in a better way. That would be my recommendation.
Did you get the overall idea that they knew that they were doing things wrong or that they should be improving themselves? Did they have that awareness? Or they were just living with what they were used to and not really looking for change?
That was actually what we determined, that when we spoke to them, they mentioned that they had been doing it in the same way for years. And when we told them of, when we gave them the recommendations and taught them a few different ways to pull it, they said practically it's difficult for them to alter their lifestyle to change it so that they can use our recommendations. But some of them were receptive towards our recommendations.
Coming back to Dr. Adrian's question on having a control group, there's intervention. That's what Hossein taught you. It's experimental study. Now, how could you conceptualize ideal situation? That's what he was trying to get at, I suppose. The control group. So then we could, when your recommendation, to push these people towards your ideal scenario. So what is the ideal we compare? Is there a way in which you could recommend them the ideal of the control group?
I suppose if there is an ideal group, we would have to go to a separate village or even one of these villages and train them with the recommendations that we considered, and it would take some time, in fact, to implement it, because they would gradually have to use the methods that we taught them. But that would probably be the control group if we can teach them the proper postures and recommend to the owners of the fishing villages to use better equipment.
Excellent research. It's a participatory research as well. It's a new methodology and different types of data collection methods. Well,